everyone. You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Alan Basoyahe coming to you from Los Angeles, California. It's December 3, 2020. Tonight we have updates from several of our correspondents across North and Latin America. May Davila in Ciudad de Panama reports about the Panama Solidario program providing food relief for 9 months in response to the pandemic's economic impact. Chay Masaga in Waldorf, Maryland.
Maryland stresses the need for additional relief, implements mobilization of medical staff.
Keisha Rose Labanan in Santa Clarita, California.
Los Angeles experiences daily record-breaking numbers of COVID-19 hospitalizations for the past 2 weeks.
Mylene Cusho in North Hills, California.
New pandemic restrictions in California cause temporary closures of businesses and halt indoor and outdoor dining for establishments.
Macy Membrera in Sacramento reports about COVID-19 cases in California continuing to rise, prompting state officials to warn of a potential second stay-at-home order. Michael Hudson in Everett tells us if Washington State is preparing for another lockdown. Carlo Valdez in Union Township, New Jersey reports about 6 New Jersey hospitals set to receive COVID-19 vaccines early. Nicole Adeline Padilla in Baton Rouge reports about Louisiana governor announcing the development of a super clinic in the city of Metairie. Don Omar Cuevas in Little Rock reports about Arkansas's COVID-19 hospitalizations reaching a record high. And for EBC Sports, Melissa Potes reports about the Toronto Raptors to play home games in Tampa. Tenny Sumage in New York.
Brooklyn Nets forward Kevin Durant adjusts team expectations and leadership.
Plus, for tonight's roundtable discussion, things we should not take for granted. Our coverage begins now. First, an overview of today's COVID-19 numbers. According to the Coronavirus Resource Center of Johns Hopkins University and Medicine, as of 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursday, December 3, 2020, the number of cases of COVID-19 reported worldwide is now more than 64,863,000. Top 3 on the list of countries with recorded cases are the U.S. with 13.9 million, India with 9.5 million, and Brazil with 6.4 million. To date, more than 1,499,000 have succumbed to this virus. Top 3 countries with the most number of COVID-19 related deaths are once again the U.S. at more than 274,000, Brazil at more than 174,000, and India at more than 138,000. Now, let's head over to Panama, where an extended food relief program tries to ease the impact of the pandemic on its citizens. Eagle News correspondent May Davila files this report.
The President of Panama announces the schedule for the delivery of food bags, vouchers, and digital vouchers for December as part of the Panama Solidario program. The Panamanian government offers this humanitarian aid for 9 months in support of the serious economic effects caused by the pandemic. This solidarity incentive will be distributed to the beneficiaries from December 1 to 27 of this month, according to the schedule for each province. According to the delivery schedule, the week of December 1 to 6, the delivery of bags of food will be carried out in the townships of the provinces of Chiriquí, Darien, Panama Oeste, and some sectors in Panama Centro. For the week of December 7 to 13, the delivery of food bags continues, while the digital voucher will be effective in all the districts of Araihan, in Panama Oeste, Colon Centro, and all the districts of Chitre in the province of Herrera. Meanwhile, in Panama Centro, the townships of Amelia Denise de Icasa, Jose Domingo Espinar, Mateo Iturralde, Omar Torrijos, Rufina Alfaro, Victoriano Lorenzo, Arnulfo Arias, Belisario Frias, and Belisario Porras will receive the digital vouchers. For the week of December 21 to 27, the delivery of vouchers will culminate in the provinces of Los Santos, Bocas del Toro, Cocle, Chiriquí, Darien, and Herrera. Finally, the payment of the digital voucher will be fulfilled in all the townships of La Chorrera, all of Panama Centro, and the townships of David in the province of Chiriquí. In October, President Nito Cortizo reported that the benefits of the Panama Solidario Plan will reach citizens affected by COVID-19 until June 2021. Desde Ciudad de Panama, May Davila, Eagle News, vivimos en tiempos interesantes.
Thank you, May, for that report. From Panama, we go to Maryland, where Governor Hogan appeals to the Biden-Harris team for additional relief for the state in an effort to rebuild the hurting economy and to sustain essential services. In Waldorf, Chai Masaga joins us this evening.
Thank you, Alan. Maryland Governor Larry Hogan, stressing the need for additional relief, appealed to the Biden-Harris transition team, encouraging them to prioritize a new stimulus package for small businesses and for the states. This is in hopes to rebuild the economy and to sustain essential services. Governor Hogan said, and I quote, "Without federal assistance, we could be forced to consider furloughs and job cuts, halts to construction, reductions in government services, and other measures that will cause an increase in unemployment and further delay in the economic recovery." Governor Hogan also announced the launch of Maryland Med Now, another response effort to fight the surge of COVID-19 in Maryland. In a press conference, Hogan urged Marylanders with clinical backgrounds to work at state hospitals, nursing homes, testing sites, and vaccination clinics. He said that the current surge not only increases the burden on the healthcare system and filling available hospital beds, but it is also affecting the healthcare workers who are already spread thin and operating under immense strain and stress. Maryland Med Now is launched in partnership with the Maryland Department of Health and Maryland Hospital Association. It is expected to reinforce the front lines to fight the increasing number of COVID-19 cases. The effort is part of the series of actions taken to mobilize a medical staffing surge to save lives and to prevent an overwhelmed healthcare system across the state. In a letter to the deans of medical schools and to nursing programs, Governor Hogan requested Maryland colleges and universities to come up with policies and procedures after consultation with their faculty to encourage and give incentives to nursing students to get involved in the state's COVID-19 healthcare response efforts. The incentives could include awarding academic credit to students for their hands-on experience in healthcare in this pandemic, or early graduation for students in their final semester who have satisfied all graduation requirements to facilitate their entry into the workforce, or even adjusting class schedules to allow volunteers to help in the statewide response effort. At the county level, Alan, with the school system still operating virtually, the Maryland Department of Health and the Maryland State Department of Education are asking local school superintendents and health officers to encourage their non-deployed school nurses and other school health service staff to participate in all other COVID-19 activities. This includes getting involved in contact tracing efforts, staffing testing sites, and administering vaccines as soon as they're available in their own county and in their county health department. Still, to address the issue of hospital surge, hospitals across the state are required to submit a surge plan to the Maryland Department of Health not later than December 8, 2020. The plan should provide a detailed strategy on their expansion of hospital bed and staffing surge capacity adjustments. Hospitals will also be required to expand their staff bed capacity by 10% within 7 calendar days once hospitalizations in the state reach a total of 8,000 or more. As of November 30, 2020, hospitalizations in Maryland have reached 6,816. In addition to these steps, hospitals statewide must immediately start making adjustments by adding or deploying staff, reducing elective procedures that require a bed or ventilator, and transferring patients to appropriate treatment facilities. In Waldorf, Maryland, Chai Masagka, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
Now, Chai, is there any word on Maryland's vaccination plan?
Yes, Alan. In fact, just this morning, the governor of Maryland, Governor Larry Hogan, had an interview. And there he said that Maryland hopes to get about 300,000 vaccines by the end of December. And they have submitted a plan to CDC as early as October. And there it was planned out who will receive or who will be prioritized to receive the vaccine. And first, it will be given to the most vulnerable, namely the health workers, of course, the residents of nursing homes, the first responders, and so forth down the line. And then from there, distribution will be ramped up as the production of vaccine increases. Alan?
Well, finally, getting vaccines rolling out is certainly something to be thankful for. And speaking of, Chai, today is National Roof Over Your Head Day, where we show things that we are thankful for. Speaking of, when we talk about later on in our roundtable discussion, was it difficult for you to narrow down some of the things you're thankful for?
Yes, for me, yes, Alan, it's quite difficult because I have so much to be thankful for. And yeah, that's why you don't take things for granted, right, Alan? You should always be thankful for what you have.
Well, I, for one, don't take for granted listening to my correspondents and what they have to offer up during our roundtable discussions. I can't wait to hear from you. Thank you, Chai.
Thank you, Alan.
When we come back, updates from our Eagle News correspondents in Santa Clarita, North Hills, and Sacramento, California. This is Eagle News America. Stay with us.
It says the best defense is still containment.
We are in uncharted territory.
Silent volume 450. FI on to 100%. Traffic ban. Level suctioning.
Lahat tayo'y naglalakbay, aking nakikita. Saan tayo tutungo, saan tayo pupunta? Hanggang saan aabot ang ating paghingahan? Saan tayo tutungo, saan tayo pupunta?
You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Alan Bosco Yahe in Los Angeles. An alarming trend of record number COVID-19 cases has caused more worries for Los Angeles County. Public Health Director Barbara Ferrer says the county is at the worst point and has to take action. In Santa Clarita, Keisha Labanan with the report.
Thank you, Alan. Los Angeles County experiences daily record-breaking numbers of COVID-19 hospitalizations for the past 2 weeks. Now, the LA Public Health Department validates a new high yesterday in the number of people hospitalized by the coronavirus, with 2,439 exceeding again the previous day's record high of 2,316 people in the hospitals due to the COVID-19. This is an alarming 94% increase in hospitalizations within just a short period of 2 weeks. Now, Barbara Ferrer, the Public Health Department or Health Director, states, "This virus is relentless. It will continue to be relentless until we can vaccinate the millions of residents and workers calling LA County home. And while there is still a bright light at the end of this very, very dark tunnel, we are not there yet. We are now at the worst point we have experienced thus far in this pandemic, and it is now time to take every single precaution to protect ourselves and others. Requirements and restrictions are to work in slowing the spread of this virus. So please today commit, and through the next few months, to being the solution to this terrible pandemic." Yesterday's COVID-19 positive cases have decreased to a bit to 5,987 new confirmed cases, but there is still more than 4 times the number that residents are used to seeing just a month ago. Now, since the beginning of November, the average daily of positive cases are now up by 225%. Just this past week and a half, the average daily number of cases have been surpassing 5,300. The number of people passing away due to coronavirus has also increased. Stats released just showed a 92% increase from November 9 to present day, with an average daily number of 38 deaths just this previous week. Now, county and city officials continue to work together to remind all of Los Angeles residents the importance of following required safety precautionary measures every day. So let's take a look at this short but very important message from Mayor Eric Garcetti. Let's take a look.
My message couldn't be simpler. It's time to hunker down. It's time to cancel everything. And if it isn't essential, don't do it. Don't meet up with others outside your household. Don't host a gathering. Don't attend a gathering. And following our targeted safer at home order, if you're able to stay home, stay home.
COVID-19 cases and current hospitalizations are increasing rapidly, and public health officials are warning all of Los Angelinos to do their part in taking the necessary actions to limit the spread of this deadly virus. In Santa Clarita, California, Keisha Lebanon, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
Oh, well, Keisha, that report on the continued record highs of COVID-19 hospitalizations and increasing positive cases and deaths here in LA County really is so very alarming. Can you tell us what the update today is on COVID-19 numbers?
Yes, Alan. Well, the COVID-19 stats were just released about 2 hours ago, and the stats are just very bleak, and it just shows that this virus is continuing to spread rapidly. The Los Angeles Public Health Department stated that it is another daily high in COVID-19 positive cases, which is 7,854, and it's also a new record high of COVID-19 hospitalizations with 2,572. Now, daily deaths are also increasing, with 44 people passing away due to this virus. And to date, Los Angeles County now has a total of 421,881 positive cases, and also has 7,782 deaths. Now, it's very important that Los Angeles residents take heed to the health orders and instructions from the public health officials in order for Los Angeles to succeed in battling COVID-19. Alan?
Well, Keisha, Roof Over Your Head Day asks all of us to think about what we're thankful for. And since we're talking about COVID-19, a lot of us have been in isolation. Have you yourself found that there are things you appreciate now more than when you did before the pandemic?
Yes, definitely, Alan. I definitely found more things that I'm more appreciative now more than ever than, pre-pandemic.
Well, we certainly can't wait to hear what else you're thankful for when we talk all together. Thank you for the report, Keisha.
Thank you, Alan.
A majority of the state of California is regressing to the purple tier, the most restrictive phase in the state's reopening plan. Eagle News correspondent Mylene Cuscio tells us what to expect.
Thank you, Alan. With the increasing number of confirmed COVID-19 cases throughout the state, California Governor Gavin Newsom announced last week a majority of the state moving to the purple tier, the most restrictive phase in the state's 4-tier reopening plan. With Los Angeles, along with every county in California currently on the purple tier and on temporary limited stay-at-home orders, these restrictions cause the temporary closure of many businesses and has placed an halt to indoor and even outdoor dining for establishments. The Los Angeles Department of Public Health aligns with the restrictions of the state and revises the county's health office orders. Just last week, public health officials ordered the closure of outdoor dining services, but allowed food delivery and pickup to continue. For restaurants and establishments in Pasadena, California, outdoor dining is still allowed since they have their own city public health department that approved to keep outdoor dining services available to customers, despite the health order from Los Angeles County that temporarily restricts outdoor dining. With Pasadena being the only city in Los Angeles County able to continue with outdoor dining services, restaurant establishments in neighboring cities like Beverly Hills are opposing the order, demanding a motion to be placed on the agenda for the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors meeting to be held this December 8th. This motion is in response to the temporary restrictions placed on their city and will be repealing the public health order placed throughout the county. Reasoning for this motion is due to the detrimental impact on local businesses and lack of scientific evidence. So Beverly Hills City Council states their desire to focus on implementing restrictions based on data and localized to the area of the outbreak, and for rules not to be applied unilaterally to every jurisdiction. In North Hills, California, Mylene Cusio, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
Now, Mylene, with all of these record spikes and surges in Los Angeles County, what does the LA Public Health Director think?
Well, Barbara Ferrer, the LA Public Health Director, as well as other county officials, are very concerned regarding all these recent surges and spikes. She recently stated a few hours ago that Los Angeles is at a dangerous point where surging cases and hospitalizations are not letting up. The county, state, and local jurisdictions are not the county, state, and local jurisdictions have taken measures to reduce crowding and mingling among non-household members. However, this is a health crisis that requires all of us to take action and be diligent. I can't emphasize this enough. Everyone must take personal steps to protect themselves and others. We can't afford lapses because in the straightforward recommended safety measures because they have deadly consequences. It is a mistake to relax and let down our guard. Staying home is the best way to protect ourselves, those we love, and those most vulnerable in our communities. Alan?
A little later in the broadcast, Mylene, you're going to join us to talk about what you are thankful for. But as a parent, what do you teach your two young children that they should be grateful for?
I teach them to be thankful they have a mommy and a daddy.
I knew it. And
feeds them.
As well they should. And are they taking these lessons to heart?
I believe so. And I'll tell you more later.
Okay. Well, we can't wait
so
to
now
hear
you
from
know what my topic will be about later.
Oh, okay. Well, I have an idea, but still, I can't wait to find out what it is for this National Roof Over Your Head Day. Mylene, thank you so much for your report.
Welcome.
California state officials are sounding the alarm, warning its residents that a second stay-at-home order is on the verge of happening. In Sacramento, Macy Membrere files this report.
Thank you. The state of California continues to experience record high cases of COVID-19, even higher than its previous record high in the month of July. The current 7-day average is more than 14,000, But when compared to the 7-day average in July, there is a significant change. Total number of daily tests for COVID-19 are more than 200,000, which means there is access to testing. However, current positivity rates for the state of California is 6.2% compared to 4.7% just a few weeks ago. Governor Newsom explains why this is concerning. Let's listen.
Roughly 12% of our new cases likely will be hospitalizations over a 2-week period, meaning once a case is reported, about 12% of the time, when you look at the aggregate, the cumulative number of cases, 12% of those are likely to be individuals then hospitalized. So you can start doing the math, and you can start putting some specific projections, specific data that will guide decisions that you make today and over the next few days in anticipation of those rate increases.
Now, if California continues on the tread it's currently on and there are no behavior changes in the community, then we can expect to see ICUs at capacity in the near future. Governor Newsom talks about the potential of another stay-at-home order. Let's listen.
If these trends continue, we're going to have to take much more dramatic, arguably drastic action, including taking a look at those purple-tiered counties. They are now 51 of the 58 counties. We had 9 counties over the weekend move backwards. Remember, we're not waiting on our weekly cadence to make moves. We're doing it much more consistently, updating the moves. 51 counties now in the most restrictive purple tiered status, 6 in the red status, just 1 in orange status, none now in yellow status. If we see these trends continue, the potential for a stay-at-home order for those regions in purple because of hospitalizations and ICUs. We're not just now looking at positivity rates. We're not now just looking at case rates. We are now looking in real time at hospitalization numbers and ICU capacity in those regions. It will require, and we are assessing this in real time over the next day or two, to make determinations of deep purple moves in those purple tiered status that is more equivalent, more in line with the stay-at-home order that folks were familiar with in the beginning of this year, with modifications in terms of the work that we are currently doing.
There has been relief that has been distributed for individuals and businesses. However, Governor Newsom says that California cannot do this alone. Here is his plea for federal assistance.
In terms of those reliefs, the individual relief checks, UI checks, PUA checks, all these other supports drying up. We need Congress to act with urgency. Urgency is not January, February, March, and April of next year. Urgency is today. Urgency is tomorrow. Urgency is a 24-hour effort, 7 days a week to figure this out and to get something done and meaningful. Is simply not, we are not capable, even a state as rich and resourced as California. And that's saying something. We're enjoying revenue above projections. We're able to provide these supports, but it's not enough to do what we need to do to hold up the economy of this country, not just this state. And no more bickering. Time for people to really just put aside their differences. I have private thoughts that I want to share, but start to put aside their differences, do the right thing, and not do it as Democrats or Republicans, but as Americans first, and not wait. Can't wait. We need to get moving on these supports to help these small businesses that have put everything on the line to make the American dream possible.
In Sacramento, California, Macy Membrera, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Thank you, Macy. When we come back, updates from our Eagle News correspondents in Arkansas, Louisiana, New Jersey, and Washington. This is Eagle News America. Stay with us.
Okay, say yes, say that.
Mabuti dumating ka.
Matagal ko ring hinintay ang moment na ito. Karding!
Babes!
Babes! Sa wakas at nagkasama din tayong dalawa.
Oo nga eh. Ang tagal ng panahon bago nagkatotoo ito.
Oo nga, parang nananaginip lang tayo, di ba?
Oo.
Kaya abangan niyo po tuwing linggo, 6:30 p.m.
Ang Kesaya-saya.
Only on
Net 25.
Kumanta, sumaya tayong lahat. Kesaya-saya.
toilet paper at tissue boxes mo. Hindi mo ba alam, mauubos daw ang mga tissue products? Bakit naman? Ang raw materials daw ng mask at tissue products ay iisa lang. Saan naman galing ang balitang yan? Ay basta, narinig ko lang din. Maraming diling kayang nagpo-post sa Facebook at Twitter, kaya kung ako sa'yo, kumuha ka na din. Sige na't mauna na ako sa'yo
Huwag basta-basta magpaniwala
sa mga nakikita
o nababasa sa social media.
Magsaliksik at i-verify ang lahat ng impormasyon
nakukuha sa internet.
Tandaan,
maging responsable tayo
sa paggamit ng social media
nang hindi magdulot ng panic sa iba.
Kung paanong dapat labanan ng COVID-19
ay gayon din ang ating pagsugpo
sa black propaganda
at maling impormasyon.
Dennis Lu,
Lou Omelda,
Louisiana Fartosa,
Tyranel Pililu,
Hannibal Arevalo,
EBC,
Japan, Euro. We live in interesting times.
You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Alan Basoyahe in Los Angeles. Is the state of Washington also on the verge of another lockdown? Eagle News correspondent Michael Hudson reports.
Thanks a lot. As of right now, the state of Washington has 175,000 positive COVID-19 cases and just over 2,900 deaths at 2,927. The biggest question right now is if the state will be taking on another lockdown. Governor Jay Inslee put into effect a previous lockdown that started on November 16th, closing various types of businesses. And the health experts, as well as Inslee, mentioned that they will be awaiting the new numbers from the Thanksgiving holidays to ensure that the overall infection rate has gone down. According to Inslee, what we do know is if we want to avoid those restrictions, the best way to do that is for all of us to buckle down and avoid these social interactions with one another. That is a considerable reason for this risk. End quote. I've spoken to many residents and they're itching to having businesses open back up again so they can continue with their lives, especially with the holidays coming up later this month. And with the vaccine fast approaching, it will be an early New Year's gift if the numbers come back positive and the governor allows business establishments to reopen. Only time will tell. Reporting from Everett, Washington, I'm Michael Hudson, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you.
Thank you, Michael. Stay safe out there in Washington. 6 New Jersey hospitals are set to receive the first batch of COVID-19 vaccines arriving in the state. In Union Township, Carla Valdez has the details.
Thanks, Alan. 6 hospitals in New Jersey will receive early shipments of the COVID-19 vaccine. They have been selected to receive the frozen COVID-19 vaccine as part of a test run by Operation Warp Speed. This is a test run mostly for logistics before the full-scale distribution starts and are authorized by the Federal Food and Drug Administration. The 6 hospitals to receive the COVID-19 vaccine are Hackensack University Medical Center, Morristown Medical Center, University Hospital in Newark, Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital in New Brunswick, Atlanticare Regional Medical Center in Atlantic City, and Cooper University Hospital in Camden. These hospitals have Arctic-level sub-zero freezers and are ready to obtain the shipments. Donna Lusner, a spokeswoman for the New Jersey State Health Department, said that positioning the vaccine in advance of its authorization allows the government to test the delivery and storage systems. The hospitals receiving the shipments have freezers that can maintain temperatures of 94 degrees Fahrenheit. And as for coronavirus figures and numbers, New Jersey reports of 4,913 new positive COVID-19 cases, pushing the total to 350,999. Sadly, New Jersey is reporting 64 new COVID-19 deaths, pushing the total to 15,373 lives lost. In Union Township, New Jersey, Carlo Valdez, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
All right, well, we're sure you're keeping an eye on this developing story, Carlo. Thank you. Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards announces the development of a super clinic in the city of Metairie. Nicole Padilla of our Louisiana Bureau has the details.
Thank you, Alan, and hello from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Today, December 3, Governor John Bel Edwards highlighted Ochsner's health plans to develop a super clinic of comprehensive health care services. Ochsner Health President and CEO Warner L. Thomas and Clearview City Center Managing Partner Thomas Richards announced plans to convert the former retail store into a super clinic and micro hospital. The super clinic is planned to open in 2 years. The super clinic will create 200 new direct jobs with an average annual salary of $70,000 per year plus benefits. Additionally, it will result in an estimated 209 new indirect jobs. The super clinic will create a total of more than 400 new jobs in Louisiana's southeast region. What makes the super clinic unique is that it will have the patient safety features built into the design, which include socially distanced waiting areas, virtual doctor visits, and patient check-ins via phone. Governor Edwards said, COVID-19 has forced Louisiana to look at how we can conduct consumer business, industrial production, education, healthcare, agribusiness, the arts, and every kind of economic and social activity in a more resilient way. As we deal with one of the greatest public health emergencies in our lifetime, this Ochsner project is a great step toward resiliency. It focuses on preventive health, outpatient care, and total wellness in one comprehensive location, while at the same time spurring significant economic growth and job creation through the redevelopment of Clearview City Center. The new Ochsner facility will be known as a super clinic due to the variety of healthcare services provided. The facility will provide women's services, men's health and behavioral health. It will also include sports medicine, physical therapy, digestive health, gastroenterology, neurology and brain health, pain management, cardiology, and ophthalmology and vision services. Other features will include same-day surgery, diagnostic imaging, a drive-through pharmacy, medical spa, and many more. President and CEO Warner L. Thomas of Ochsner Health said, Ochsner is excited to create a patient-centered healthcare destination that brings a multitude of services, amenities, and wellness offerings into one convenient location. Stay safe, Louisiana. I hope you are well there, Alan. In Baton Rouge, Louisiana, I'm Nicole Padilla, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Well, it looks like the pandemic has forced us to rethink how to construct buildings for tomorrow. Thank you, Nicole. Arkansas joins the other U.S. states in battling record-breaking numbers of COVID-19 cases. In Little Rock, Don Omar Cuevas reports.
Here in Arkansas, the number of COVID-19 cases has now surpassed 150,000, with around 125,000 recoveries and about 2,500 deaths. According to data from the Arkansas Department of Health, the number of people hospitalized due to the virus is at a record high, with over 1,000 hospitalized patients. In addition, the number of COVID patients on ventilators is also at an all-time high, with 211 as of Tuesday. This new development regarding COVID-19 has our governor, Asa Hutchinson, worried about the status of Arkansas's healthcare system as the winter months draw closer. At the end of November, he stated during a daily update, "We are in the lull before the storm," as evidenced by national trends and expert advice. In his daily update from the 1st of December, Governor Hutchinson discussed the importance of education and keeping schools open amidst the pandemic. He then turned it over to Dr. Ivy Pfeffer, Deputy Commissioner of the Arkansas Department of Education's Division of Elementary and Secondary Education. Dr. Pfeffer explained that the Arkansas Department of Education will work to assist those who are studying to become teachers by waiving application fees and expediting the process of obtaining teaching licenses. Through this plan, the education system in Arkansas can endure issues such as loss of staff due to COVID-19. In other news, the Arkansas Farm Bureau will be holding its 86th annual convention on the 3rd of December. During this convention, the Farm Bureau's board of directors will meet virtually with delegates from all over the state and elect their next president and vice president. The Bureau's current president, Rich Hillman, has stated that bringing the agricultural leaders of Arkansas together is critical to overcoming the problems caused by COVID-19. In his words, Arkansas Farm Bureau was founded in 1935 to be the voice of agriculture in Arkansas. So even though we had to scale back our convention this year, we will use technology to accomplish our mission and prepare to be that voice in 2021. I hope you're staying safe in your part of the country. In Little Rock, Arkansas, Don Omar Cuevas, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Don Omar. Coming up, EBC Sports. And for tonight's virtual roundtable discussion, things we should not take for granted. That's next. This is Eagle News America. Stay with us.
Sa kanilang muling pagtatagpo,
Sir, okay ka lang?
kasabay nagpagbabalik ng nakaraan.
Ikaw! Bakit hindi niyo sinabi sa akin na may bagong guest? I had to find out in the worst possible way.
Sabi niya nataliso daw siya sa... Saan ba yun? Sa basurahan.
Basurahan? Saang basurahan daw? You never let a day pass na hindi ka dumadalo sa hotel. Matamlay yung pakiramdam mo. Wala kang ganang kumain. May sakit ka ba?
Wala po, ma. Okay lang po ako.
Pero para sure, magpa-check up na rin tayo. Tara, samahan kita.
Sorry? Sinadya mo ata eh.
Magbabalik ang dating tintig ng mga puso.
Tinutuwa mo talaga?
Oo naman!
Ay, wow! May pa-dessert ka pa. Grabe naman.
Sabi ko sa'yo, di ba? Dadala kita ng almusal.
Grabe ka talaga. Di ba yan?
Ma'am, magde-declare daw ng community quarantine.
Ibig sabihin nun, hindi tayo makaka-uwi. Hindi na sila magpapapasok sa buong Metro Manila.
Kaya yung mga guests mo sa hotel, dapat masabihan mo na sila ASAP na makapag-check out at makaalis na sa lugar natin.
Paano pag ayaw umalis ng mga guest sa hotel? Pag ayaw nila mag-check out?
Bakit naman ayaw nila mag-check out? Ba't naman gusto nila ma-lockdown dito sa Olvida?
At ako'y laging sa'yo, ika'y laging
Ang daigdig ko'y ikaw. Tuwing Sabado, ika-8 ng gabi, dito lamang sa Net 25.
The COVID-19 pandemic continues to have a great impact on the NBA. Because of restrictions, the Toronto Raptors will have to make Tampa Bay their home court for this upcoming season. In Florida, Melissa Potes has the details.
Tampa will be the temporary home of the Toronto Raptors this season after the Canadian government denied the request to host games in the country. Though absence makes the heart grow fonder, coach Nick Nurse would rather be playing in the 6.
when you're kind of entrenched in a spot, you know, you guys not shy about telling you guys how much I love being in Toronto. You know, it's our city and it's our team and our organization. So there's a lot of unsettling feelings about having to leave, to be honest. It's not easy, right? It's not easy to pick up and leave that behind. It feels strange. But you know, it's just different. Everything new and different seems strange for a moment. I can only say this. I don't. And I know I'd rather be in Toronto, but I'm not. And now I'm going to make the best of it here, and I'm going to not make any excuses, and I'm going to get to work, and we're going to expect to play at a super high level. And that's it. There's a lot of things surrounding what's happening, and we're going to do our best to focus in on just becoming the best basketball team we can become. And we do that by starting with accepting, here's where we are, put a smile on our face, get out on the right side of the bed, positive attitude, and go to work, right? And that's how I kind of see it all from start to where I am now.
The Raptors will play one preseason game in Amalie Arena against the Miami Heat on December 18th. In Orlando, Florida, Melissa Potas, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Thank you, Melissa. You know, for NBA fans, the next season looks to be just as exciting, if not more so than the previous. Players have been traded, new talent coming to the league from the draft, and also superstars coming back from injuries. You know who we're talking about? One of the most awaited returns, Kevin Durant. Here's the report with Tenny Sumagi, who has the details.
Good morning. Excited New Yorker right now because the moment has come, the return of Kevin Durant. The two-time NBA MVP talks about high team expectations with the Nets, plus what his leadership skills will bring to the young Nets team.
Well, our only goal is to be the best version of ourselves every single day individually and bring that together and work as a unit. And outside noise from people who are hoping that we fail, hoping that they see a show or get entertained by some drama. I mean, we can't control that stuff, you know. So we just worried about, you know, who we are individually and then bringing that together as a unit each and every day. Only the people in this building matter. I always brought that excitement to the game. I always brought that enthusiasm that I enjoyed getting up every day and playing basketball and my life being about just the game of basketball. I always enjoyed that, but I always needed to see more in the NBA, experience more. And I think over the last 13 years, you know, I've experienced so much as a basketball player. And it's molded me and made me to who I am today. And my approach has just always been to work as hard as I can on every rep and practice shoot-arounds, individual workouts. Hopefully my teammates follow that lead and, you know, find out who they are for themselves. And for me, in the games, I just try to play as hard as I can on the defensive side of the ball and be efficient, you know. That's just been my approach and how I feel like I'm going to help this team going forward.
The Nets will play two preseason games before their season home opener against Durant's old team, the Golden State Warriors. In New York, Tenny Sumagi, Eagle News, we live in...
Tenny, there's plenty of high expectations with KD, Kyrie Irving, and the Nets. Many are favoring them to be this season's NBA champs. How about you? What's your take on the team and the hiring of NBA Hall of Famer Steve Nash as their head coach?
That's probably the most interesting part of why the Nets are probably the favorites to win this year's NBA title. Sorry about that. I know that you're probably rooting for the Lakers or the Clippers, which, the Nets are kind of like the Clippers. Nobody really cares about them here in New York. They're all pretty much Knicks fans here. But that's going to change because it's going to be interesting to see what Nash will do to help develop the game of Kyrie Irving, who's one of the best point guards in the league. And it's also going to show how Kevin Durant will lead this young team. There's a lot of great young talent in the Nets. It was very evident during the NBA bubble when all the starting players were down due to COVID. Karis LeVert, a young up-and-coming player, stepped up, did a wonderful job. They made the playoffs, and we'll see how Coach Steve Nash will bring his basketball IQ, along with the help of his former teammate Amari Stoudemire and former coach Mike D'Antoni, as the assistant.
Well, Tenny, I can see from your grin, your smile from ear to ear, that you're grateful to have this super team evolving in your fair city. And that's quite fitting, because today is National Roof Over Your Head Day, reminding us about things big or small that we really should be grateful for. I'll start with you, Tenny, and the other correspondents are going to jump in a bit. In your opinion, what are some of the things that we should not take for granted?
Well, for me, at least, I won't take for granted that I have the opportunity to interview KD, Kyrie, and Steve Nash this season. But besides the NBA, so covering the NBA through ABC, you have to be grateful. Despite the pandemic, I still have my health. I'm very. I was probably one of few New Yorkers who didn't catch the virus, and I was just sick. I'm happy that I have good health. I always wash my hands. And I'm just always happy. So, no matter what happens in life, it's very important to stay happy.
That's an excellent answer, Tenny. Yes, absolutely, your health. I am glad to see that you're healthy as well. But of course, I couldn't help but notice you mentioning being able to interview KD at the outset of what you're thankful for. And I can agree with you. We've had the chance here in LA to also interview some of these basketball superstars. And I'm not a small person, but standing next to them, I'm quite dwarfed in comparison. Thanks, Tenny, for sharing. Yeah.
You got caught in Hawaii, so you can get in there too.
Thanks, Tenny. Hang on. Don't go anywhere. Let's move on to Chai. Chai, talk to us for National Roof Over Your Head Day. Tell us some things you're thankful for.
Well, like I said, Alan, I have so many things to be thankful for. Well, of course, my family. I got my roof over my head, of course. And, well, I was about to mention, if you'd ask me about things that I should not take for granted, simple things, Alan. This may sound simple, ordinary, or mundane to others, but I will never take for granted my cup of coffee in the morning. I'm a coffee drinker. I can't imagine starting my day without my steaming cup of coffee, so I'll never take that for granted. And if I can add to that, Alan, I'll never take for granted the fall season.
Oh, I love fall myself. It's nice and cozy. And when it's fall, it's also a good time to drink coffee. And
right. And yes, winter. Those are my two favorite seasons, fall and winter. Go ahead, Alan.
And Chai, there is nothing wrong with you talking about appreciating, being thankful for your coffee, because for a lot of people, coffee is quite soothing to us and helps us start our day.
Yes, that's true. And for this winter, I said winter, I'm not taking it for granted because of the falling snow. I just love watching the snow falling, Alan, and watching it with your hot cocoa, right? Well, of course, I'm talking about the snow falling while it's still falling, not after, because you need to start shoveling the snow, and that's a lot of work, of course.
I'm right there with you in sunny California. I will sip my hot cocoa and watch some virtual snow on my computer. Thank you, Chai, for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Let's move on to Keisha. Keisha, National Roof Over Your Head Day. What are you thankful for?
For me, Alan, first and foremost, of course, I'm more than thankful for family now, especially more than ever. Me being here in Los Angeles, I'm kind of far away from my immediate family. So whenever I do get to spend the time with them, I definitely appreciate every little moment, like, just hanging out, watching TV, just eating like a simple dinner. Like those things I appreciate more. It's the little things that matter to me. And of course, throughout this whole pandemic, one thing that I've learned to appreciate more than ever is streaming services. Without streaming services, I think that I probably would have gone insane. I don't think there's much I can do while in quarantine. So I'm thankful for just a lot of things in general.
Well, Keisha, we don't want you to go insane. So by all means, binge more on what it is, these shows that you're following. Thanks, Keisha, and stick around for the end of our broadcast. Mylene, let's move on to you. What are you thankful for?
Hi, Alan. Well, I'm thankful for several things. I kind of made a list, but it's too long. I can't say everything, but I will give you a few highlights. Like mobility, the ability for me to be able to do what I need to do, like just get up and go hiking, breathe the air that we have. Although fire season is up again, there's a few fires around, but other than that, when you can go out and take a deep breath and without much effort, it's grateful because some of these patients that are in the hospital now or have COVID, it's labor for them to breathe. So I'm going to take that. And also my family, of course, I'm grateful for them. Don't take them for granted. And, I have children, so I never take it for granted when my children want to sleep with my husband and I in our bed. Because eventually, that phase will sadly go to an end. Cuddling and sleeping with my kids, it's a priceless moment that won't last forever. So I embrace these evenings when they come knocking at the door, Mommy, can we sleep in the bed with you? So, plus, my husband and I, we'll take that moment to remind them how lucky they are to have a mommy and daddy who are still alive. Because, they're orphans at such a young age, and that we can maintain a nuclear family. So that's what we are grateful for, I'm grateful for, and that I don't take it for granted.
All right. Well said, Mylene. I couldn't agree with you more. And, with the kids being able to, accepting them to, they can come over and sleep with mommy and daddy, it sure helps that your kids are cute also. So I guess that doesn't hurt at all. Well, for myself, for National Roof Over Your Head Day, what I'm thankful for, I don't want to take for granted. I'll take that approach. The one thing that I say don't take for granted are old stories. What do I mean by that? We might have people in our family, maybe they're the elders in our family, that tell you a story, but you've heard the story not once, not twice, but maybe a couple of dozen times already. Instead of stopping them, I like to listen. No matter how many times they said it, I don't take for granted that they have something to say, even if they've already said it in the past, because when I give them an ear to listen to what they're saying, I breathe new life into some kind of significant moment that happened to them. And it's all going to happen to each one of us. I'm speaking from personal experience. I tell people what I think are new stories. Turns out I'm just recycling some of my favorite hits. So I'm finding that with increasing frequency, I'm repeating myself. With increasing frequency, I'm repeating myself. One of the things we don't get tired of repeating on our broadcast is showing our gratitude to our healthcare workers, first responders, and essential workers. So why don't we give them a big round of applause? We appreciate you. And that is today's Eagle News America. Thank you for joining us. I'm Alan Basoyahe. We live in interesting times.
Last week sa Tagisan ng Galing Part 2, Singing Edition. Muling nagkita sa sing-off si Elizabeth Leiva at si Chito Ricafrente. At sa huli, silang dalawa pa rin ang umangkin ng ikatlong pwesto sa first semifinals.
Ngayong Sabado,